Hey YouTube, NC Shootist here. Wanted to bring you what I think is an interesting video today. I like to cook with cast iron. Call me a conspiracy nut, but I think a lot of the problems that we're having in this country with Alzheimer's and cognitive disorders, I think a lot of that probably has to do with Teflon, non-stick cookware. Aluminum cookware. A lot of that stuff can leach into your food, and I think it's probably one of the contributing factors to what's going on with a lot of the dementia and Alzheimer's issues that we're having. So anyway, big fan of cast iron, and I've got a new Lodge 12-inch cast iron skillet. The only problem when you get a new skillet is it's got kind of a orange peel texture, I guess you would call it, and it can be kind of rough from the casting. So what I like to do with mine as soon as I get a new cast iron skillet is to smooth out the inside, and that way you take off the high marks and that orange peel texture, and you get it down to the base cast iron, and get it nice and smooth, and that way you can re-season it. You can cook on it, and food doesn't stick as much as it would in a normal cast iron skillet. Typically if you've got a cast iron skillet, it can take decades for it to smooth down to a nice even finish. So anyway, I like to go ahead and do that process myself instead of having to wait on time to do it. So two of the tools that I use to do this, one is I use a 60 grit sanding disc, DeWalt sanding disc, and you can kind of see that here. Basically it's a bunch of pieces of sandpaper laid over each other, attached to a wheel, and I've got my trusty Northern Industrial angle grinder. By the way, this is an excellent angle grinder. I've had it probably close to 10 years now, and I've used it quite a bit, and it's been a good one. So what I do with this is what I use to take off most of the material. So I use it to do the first kind of pass over it, take off all the high spots, get that orange peel texture gone. And then what's left is kind of a, I don't know, looks like a 60 grit sand job would look. So it's still kind of rough. So in my drill, I've got chucked up a paint remover disc, and you can buy these at Lowe's or your local hardware store. So what I do is chuck this paint remover disc into my drill, and then I finish up the grinding, so that gives it a little smoother finish. You can still see swirl marks, but really that's not anything to be worried about. Once you re-season your cast iron, get some Crisco in there and put it in the oven at 400 degrees for a few minutes or for an hour. Eventually these little swirl marks, you won't notice them anymore. So anyway, that's what I like to do on my cast iron. It helps quite a bit, especially with new cast iron, to get kind of a nice smooth surface. It helps get going with the non-stick, and of course the more you use it, the more you season it, it's only going to get more non-stick, I guess. So we've tried several different types of cookware. We've tried stainless steel, we've tried regular Teflon, we've tried the ceramic, and all of them work well for a while, but eventually they start to break down. Food starts to stick. It's a big headache. So you're spending what, $200 for a set of pans, pots and pans, every 2 or 3 years. So I just got tired of doing that and switched to cast iron earlier this year. I've used cast iron before. Being in Boy Scouts, we did Dutch oven cooking, cooked over the campfire. The campfire or camping cookware that we use is cast iron. So cast iron is a good choice. Like I said, the more you use it, the more nonstick it's going to get. Not like the other stuff where the more you use it, the more food's going to stick. Eventually that nonstick coating is going to wear out. So after I've finished my smoothing of the finish on the cast iron, I'm going to take this inside, season it, put it in the oven, and get it going. And I'll show you guys how to season your cast iron too. So stay tuned for the next video. I appreciate you watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and love to have you. Thanks, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Hey YouTube, NC Shootist here. Wanted to add a little addendum to the video here. As I was going over the process of smoothing the cast iron out, I forgot to leave out some very important pieces of equipment that you'll need if you do this. Number one, safety glasses. Number two, you'll also need a dust mask or a dust filter for your face. And I also like to use a shop vac. So what I'll do is I'll hold the grinder in this hand, and then I'll grab my shop vac nozzle, and I'll go behind the grinder as I'm going and pick up the metal pieces, metal shavings, cast iron dust. Cast iron dust is not something you want to be breathing. Any kind of metal dust, really. So, like I said, eyeglasses, dust mask, vacuum if you have one. You are going to get a little dirty. You can see here what my hand looks like after grinding down that cast iron. You definitely don't want this stuff down in your lungs. So anyway, thanks again. Talk to you next time.